Hi there, YouTube. Today's Kingdom song was played quite often at the Kingdom Hall when I was a kid. It was usually after a talk about doing more in service, cleaning the Kingdom Hall, putting more in the contribution box, studying more, always more. It's based on a verse in Isaiah in which the writer was having some sort of fever dream, but Jehovah's Witnesses used the scripture to encourage their members to always volunteer to do more for the Watchtower. The song was number 109 in 1966, number 204 in 1984, number 10 in 2009, and number 75 in 2017. It's called Here I Am, Send Me. Now, the interesting thing about this song, besides the crazy high note at the end, is that there are no superfluous apostrophes in it. I can't believe it. Another fascinating thing about this song is that the lyrics have changed very little since 1966. I think this song was actually around even before that, which is extremely impressive for a Jehovah's Witness song. They don't typically last that long without being altered almost beyond recognition, as you're aware if you've watched this series at all. One thing that did change, though, is the melody. In 2009, they did a real number on it, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Today, many reproach and shame in many ways, and that's their name.
Okay, hold on. I don't think that this is entirely accurate. In 2017, the second part of this line was changed to upon Jehovah's holy name. But either way, this is kind of weaselly. Sure, there is reproach and shame involved with religion these days, but it's got nothing to do with anyone's name. It's got to do with damaging unethical policies that protect the wicked instead of those who need protection. It's not just the Jehovah's Witnesses. It is all religions. But Jehovah's Witnesses don't get a pass, no matter how much they protest that they're better than all the rest, because they're not. They're just as bad, if not a little bit worse, because of their extensive use of mind control techniques and their refusal to admit that they've ever been wrong or to apologize for the damage that they've done.
Some show God waits on patient poor. There is no God, so shouts the fool.
If God were real and he was actually almighty, who would really care how some puny human portrayed him? Nobody, that too. Look, I could call Mike Tyson a 90-pound weakling all day long. Would anybody believe me? No, and with good reason. There's plenty of evidence to the contrary to anyone who's not too lazy to look it up. But you don't have to work too hard to ever show God weak and paint him cruel, because cruelty is the only explanation for his actions described in the Bible. Either he's cruel and amoral, or he's not actually there. Well, we've been through this before, but humor me for a minute. Okay, let's take the example of a child in a war zone who's starving to death and being bombed into oblivion, okay? Where's God? Why is he allowing this to happen to an innocent child? It should be against everything he stands for, shouldn't it? So what gives? I mean, if he doesn't know about it, then he's not omniscient, is he? If he knows but he can't do anything, then he's not omnipotent. If he knows and he could do something, but he chooses not to, regardless of the reason, then he's not good. So what alternatives are there? Either he's evil or he's not there. It's not foolish, it's logical. I would think it's more foolish to insist on believing in fairy tales instead of taking responsibility and doing something. Where are we going? Is God being sued again? Do we have to go to court and testify? I mean, what is Jehovah being charged with this time? Oh, do I have to guess? Failure to report child abuse? Slander and libel? Extortion? Negligent homicide? Serial murder? I don't know. In 2017, they changed the name of God to Jehovah's name because, of course they did. They'll put Jehovah's name literally anywhere they can cram it in. Sometimes it reminds me of the Smurfs, actually. Those little blue guys would use any excuse to name themselves. It's a Smurfy day, let's go Smurfing! Jehovah's Witnesses are exactly like that, except with Jehovah.
Lord, here I am, send me. I'll sing your praises faithfully. No greater honor could there be, Lord. Here I am, send me.
Oh, pick me. I'll do anything to get out of having to sit at a convention for 12 hours straight. Literally anything. Actually, though, there are plenty of greater honors than being chosen to go testify on behalf of a deity who's committed so many crimes through the ages we're not even sure what he's being charged with this time. Here is a list of greater honors, in case you wondered. The Nobel Prize, the Congressional Medal of Honor, the Purple Heart, any university scholarship, literally any Girl Scout merit badge, an elementary school field day participation trophy, a free Pepsi at the gas station. I mean, I could go on, but we could be here all day.
Men make the tongue that God is slow. The fear of God they do not know.
So I think it's kind of funny that the Jehovah's Witnesses' insistence on only talking to or about men is sort of backfiring here. Notice that it's only men who are reproaching and shaming and taunting God. Well, somebody on the songbook writing committee noticed that too, I guess, because in 2017, they changed that line to, some make the claim that God is slow. But hey, regardless of who's making it and what's in their pants, it's a valid claim. If he exists at all, then he's slower than molasses in January on Pluto. And if nothing ever happens, then what's to be afraid of?
Some worship idols made of stone. Some would put Caesar on God's throne.
Guys, I don't think anyone actually worships idols anymore. I mean, sure, there are statues in churches and various places of worship, but nobody worships the actual statues. You know that, right? As for putting Caesar on God's throne, how would that even work? I mean, God's throne is kind of invisible, inaccessible, not exactly real. And Caesar has actually been dead for several thousand years at this point, so they're saying that some would put a dead guy in an imaginary chair. I mean, how? Why? What for? I mean, what they're trying to say here, of course, is that some people worship the government, which is actually pretty silly, because I don't know anybody who does that either. Okay, maybe some people in North Korea or something, but they're under duress. And I'll bet they're not listening to this song either, are they?
Who tell the wicked what's in store? Who warn of God's great final war?
All right, kids, who wants to go tell everyone that God's going to kill them all? Don't everybody volunteer at once.
Lord, here I am, send me. I'll sound the warning fearlessly. No greater honor could there be, Lord. Here I am, send me.
Oh, pick me. I want to go annoy people on their doorsteps at the crack of dawn on their only day off to insult them and tell them God's going to kill them if they don't start knocking on doors like me. That sounds great, said no one ever.
Today the meek ones mourn and sigh, because the evils multiply.
Looks like the meek ones are back. Those poor, mourning and sighing Debbie Downers. Hey guys, what's an evil? And why are the meek ones so unhappy over their math skills? Seriously though, the idea of evils multiplying is a fallacy. Bad things have always happened, just like good things have always happened. The difference now is that we hear about it. It gets reported over and over and over on 24-hour news channels and then written about ad nauseum on the internet.
With honest hearts they seek to find the truth that gives real peace of mind.
Well, if they're looking for the actual truth, never mind peace of mind, they better keep walking away from the Kingdom Hall. Because the Jehovah's Witness religion is so full of lies that if I start talking about them, we'll be here all night. Don't believe me? Do a Google search. Start with their wild theories in the olden days about vaccination, aluminum cookware, miracle wheat, and racism. Then you can move on to doomsday predictions and failed prophecies. That'll keep you busy for a while. Then you could look up Beth Sarum, the doctrinal new light, old light, flip-flop, flip-flops, and then you can top it off with the Great Child Molestation cover-up. Well, this certainly doesn't give me peace of mind, especially knowing that the great majority of my family still believes in this crap and chooses a predatory corporate religion over their own flesh and blood.
Go with comfort to these meek, who help from righteousness to see.
What comfort exactly are they taking to the Debbie Downers? You might get to pet your own panda and see your dead grandma again if you obey us without question for the rest of your life. Yeah. And how exactly do you assist someone in seeking righteousness? Because it seems to me if you already knew where the righteousness was, you'd be helping them find it, wouldn't you? Showing them the way? But no, we're helping them seek righteousness, which implies that we don't really know where it is either.
Lord, here I am, send me. I'll teach the meek ones patiently. No greater honor could there be, Lord. Here I am, send me.
So tell me this, how many patient witness teachers did you know? Not many. Now there were a few, but most of them would get real snippy with a Bible study who failed to progress toward baptism or who asked too many difficult questions. Okay, so I want you to hear the new melody as it was changed a bit in 2009. This is how the song sounds now.
Today the meek ones mourn and sigh, because evils multiply. With honest hearts they seek to find the truth that gives real peace of mind. Who'll go with comfort to the meek, who'll help them righteousness to seek. Lord, here I am, send me. I'll teach such meek ones patiently. No greater honor could there be, Lord. Here I am, send me, send me.
So I really hate what they did to the first part of the verse. Maybe it's because it's different and I grew up hearing the original, but it just sounds wrong to me. But this arrangement, it's actually a little bit reminiscent of a Gregorian chant, which is funny, but also surprisingly nice. So miracles do happen, and I've actually discovered a Jehovah's Witness production that I don't actively hate. Not to say I'll ever listen to it again, but It's not as horrible as some of the other stuff they've put out there.
Here I am, send me, send me.
I'm right here, but I ain't going.